Welcome to Finding Holiness, where we delve into timeless Torah wisdom, revealing the sacred in everyday moments. Join us on a journey to elevate your spirituality and discover holiness in every aspect of life. I'm your host, Rabbi David Kadosh, and together, let's embark on a path of spiritual exploration. I hope you enjoy this next episode. All right, Erev Tov, everybody. We started giving some qualifications to the license of Apei Telata, which we said is the rule that if somebody hears Lashon Hara and he's part of three people who heard that piece of information, he can then repeat the Lashon Hara. We're going through 7 different qualifications that allow such a thing. The second qualification applies, as we're going to see, only to someone who personally heard the Lashon Hara in presence of 3 people, not someone that was told of that report. So here's what the Chafetz Chaim. V'afilu ma she'itarnu, even that which we permitted of the Apei Telata, ve'im eno mitkaven legalot, this is provided his intent is not to publicize the matter further. Davka hashomea harishon, however, this applies to a first-hand listener, sheshama be'atzmo ma sheReuven siper al Shimon be'Apei Telata, who personally heard Reuven relating information about Shimon in presence of 3 people. Aval, so basically, if Levi personally heard Reuven or saw Reuven relate the negative report about Shimon in 3 people, he can also relate it to Yehuda, even though he wasn't one of the 3 listeners, but he saw it actually happening. Aval mi sheshama mimenu, however, Yehuda, who's the 4th guy here, he heard it from Levi. Levi was allowed to hear it from Yehuda. Levi was allowed to tell Yehuda. Now Yehuda heard the information from Levi. Asur lelech achar kach al smach hazeh. He cannot go further than this. She'amar lo ha'mesaper lo, that which Levi told him, the report claims sheshama davar zeh ba'Apei Telata, that he heard this in the matter of 3 listeners. Yehuda can't say that. Levi could say that. I heard this Lashon Hara that was said in front of 3 listeners. Yehuda is a recipient of Levi's permitted retelling of the story, but Yehuda can't no longer go and say, I heard it in front of 3. Right. No, it's no longer you heard in front of 3. Yeah, it stops there. And he can't relate the disparaging information that he heard about Shimon to another person. Yehuda cannot repeat the report that Levi told him, even if he does so without mentioning the name of the person who said it from the beginning, which is Reuven. And he also doesn't mention the name of Levi, the person who repeated the slander. He still can't do it. Unless the matter is already known to everyone. So, therefore, Yehuda has no permission to go and spread this further.
I want to get this straight before we go further. Okay?
Sure.
So we've got first guy who comes along. He says Lashon Hara, absolutely forbidden.
Yes.
He says it.
Yes.
So he's got Avera, 1. Now, 3 people that are there listening, for some unknown reason, it's telling us that those 3 people now have a license to go and spread it around.
They can go say to somebody else.
What's the thinking there?
Again, we've already went through this, that once one friend has a friend who has a friend. So therefore, if 3 people are hearing it, it's automatic that it's going to be spread out more. But that doesn't give permission to the next level guy to go and say it, even though he can technically say, but it was said in front of 3 people, so therefore I can go. That doesn't give permission to the next level guy, because then you would be probably lo telech rachil, you are a gossip monger, and you are actually, or maybe even a baal lashon hara, seeking people to go and relate information, which is not allowed. Yes?
Could the 4th person bring 3 of his friends then and could say it?
No, I don't think it will make a difference in that situation. Okay. ולמה באי אם השומע השני הזה אינו יודע כלל מעצמו את עצם המעשה. Now, this prohibition where Yehuda, who's the 4th guy, okay, repeating Levi's report, applies when the second-hand listener, Yehuda, has no personal knowledge about the incident. אם הוא אמת שראובן סיפר גנוז של שמעון, whether Reuven had in fact disparaged Shimon, okay, בוודאי אינו להאמינו בזה שראובן עבר לאיסור לשון הרע. In that case, Yehuda certainly may not believe Levi's report that Reuven violated Lashon Hara. So if Yehuda has no idea if this is even true. Certainly he can't go and repeat it over, okay? Because like it's Lashon Hara. But we're saying, Ela afilu im yodea be'atzmo. Here's the chidush. Even if Yehuda knows for a fact, firsthand, Reuven siper kenut al Shimon, that Reuven started this and that's what he said. Ach enenu yodea im haya ba'pei tlata. But Yehuda does not know this one detail that he did in the presence of three. And Levi fills in and informs Yehuda that it was in fact a three. It is forbidden for Yehuda to rely on Levi's assertion that it was done in front of three people, which is implying that if Yehuda happened to be next to Levi and saw, again, then he has the same status as Levi. I saw it in front of three people, so he can go and repeat it. But Yehuda is only banking on this information from Levi, and that is not enough to repeat it.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but so there's a halakha that when one speaker of Lashon Hara comes to a listener, both are actually doing an avera. So the listener and the speaker are. So the listener has to not want to listen by saying, "I'm sorry, I don't believe that may be true," and then he's not in avera. So now the three people that are in the first case, where you have one speaker with three people listening, those three people, why aren't they having an avera?
They might be transgressing the acceptance or the believing of the information, but here we're talking about a situation where you could repeat over to someone else because the matter is known. Again, think of it as a news source, okay? If
News source is something else.
Well, no, it's not. 3 and a million we're saying is the same thing, all right? So it's exactly what we're saying. Once there's a news source that announces that the prime minister has 11 toes, okay, and then I can go around and say disparaging information about the prime minister that he has 11 toes because it's been said in front of three people, right, or much more than three people. So even if he knows for sure that Reuven said what he said to Shimon, you're not allowed to do it. We have to suspect that maybe Reuven did not speak it in front of three listeners because Yehuda doesn't know it for sure. And that Lashon Hara is not bound to become known to the public. Therefore, it would still be forbidden for Yehuda to tell anyone what Reuven said about Shimon because Yehuda is not certain that he said it in front of three people, but he only heard it from Levi. We'll continue Be'ezrat Hashem tomorrow.